love family reunions, especially when it's my Dharma family. Thank you all for being here. I know it's a holiday and we didn't know what to expect, but it's wonderful to see you all here today. Thank you for being here. You may wonder why we have to use microphones now. Because our services are being videotaped on YouTube and Zoom through that little camera right back there. That's why there's a little space here. And the microphones are for use for the video. So thank you.
Good morning. It is warm to see you all. It's warm temperature, but I mean, just to see all these faces, and I need a hug from you two. Jeremy, thank you for going down to get those chairs. We just had no idea who was going to show up today, how many people are going to come. You know, it's a holiday and the pandemic has been playing havoc with our lives. And that's why there's so much space. We want to make everyone feel comfortable. Well, why don't we stand and recite our refuge vows. Page 7. You're all there way ahead of me, right? Together we say, I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts.
Turn to the next page, the Heart Sutra.
great compassion, from the deep practice of prajna, paramita, perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas, and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharma, the radiant, fearless mantra, the utmost supreme mantra, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, hara gate, hara samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, hara gate, hara samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, hara gate, hara samgate, bodhisvaha. Prajna, paramita, Hridaya Sutra.
seated. After you. Wow. What a year. There was a lot of talk about what we would talk about in this reopening, a lot of discussion. And we decided, first of all, we were going to have all four of the senior teachers up here talking to you. Yang Su is in California, attending to a family matter, and Isu is ill. So you're stuck with the two old men. The two old men of the Sangha. But we decided that we would talk about what it was like to go through this past, what is it now, 16 months? 16 months. So I'll start with what it was like for me. I made every attempt to be mindful as I worried, as my anxiety went up, not only about the Sangha, but the temple. Could we survive? You know, would there be anything here when we came back? I reached out to family, friends, Sangha members who were in my circle just to check in. You know, how you doing? Is there anything you need? Made hospital visits when that was permissible. Visited friends in the neighborhood. In the middle of COVID, I moved from Grand Rapids to Grand Haven. And was very mindful not to attach myself to the suffering that was happening all around us. I have a Facebook friend from Bodh Gaya, India. His name is Anand, and that is actually the birthplace of the Buddha. And he would send me pictures of the streets in Bodh Gaya, completely empty. The great statues of Buddha, no one was around them. Typically, that would have been crowded with bicycles and walkers and little motorbikes and cars, to the point where you could hardly get around. There was not a soul in sight. And then we had the natural things, hurricanes, tornadoes, natural disasters, tropical storms, all for which I offered metta. But it was the Sangha that concerned me most of all. So in my morning, noontime, and evening meditations, I would always picture your faces. Because when I do a Dharma talk, I always look for the eyes. I know the eyes. I call it my Sangha, just to be possessive for a moment. I know the eyes in my Sangha. And I know the eyes that while I am giving a Dharma talk are offering me metta. And I can't thank you enough for that. My deep bows to you. There are many of our Sangha members that lost family members. My friend Anand lost several close relatives. India was hit very, very hard. They're a very underserved population. We lost thousands upon thousands upon thousands right here at home. There were a lot of political things that went on during the pandemic. Don't even go there with me. Then we had the vaccine. What a wonderful thing. And then we had the anti-vaxxers. And we still offer metta and the hope that there is not continued outbreaks, continued illness, the new strains, the new variants. But all the while, my mind came back to the Sangha. So I did a lot of things pretty well. There was one thing, however, that I failed to do. And that was engage in my own self-care. I was so focused on giving, I forgot to give to myself. Where once my cancer was in remission, I am disappointed to tell you it no longer is. I had several other health challenges along the way. And when I said, why on earth is this happening to me? Duh, have a V8, David. You did not take care of the source from which all else flows. That was a real lesson. Remember that phrase, the source from which all else flows is you. The Buddha flows through you. The Dharma resides in you. You become the Dharma. You become the Buddha. And I lost sight of that. And so my own well-being suffered. I hope that none of you went through a similar faux pas. The source from which all else flows is sitting right in front of me, in every one of you. Please don't forget that.
It'll take me a while to get used to this thing. Good morning again. We began this morning's service with the Refuge Vows. We took refuge in the Buddha, our teacher. We took refuge in the Dharma, the teaching, that which I try to practice. And we took refuge in the Sangha, each other. I cannot be a solitary Buddhist. When I am walking in the woods or canoeing or sitting in my garden, I'm one of the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. But I'm tested when I come against one other person. And that's when I find out what kind of a man I really am. And that's what the Sangha is for. It's for us to learn from one another. I sit with a group of people in a lovely park in the morning, and we share thoughts and ideas, and we can grow. Now, at the beginning of this pandemic, when it was just starting, I retired from the temple. And almost immediately, my practice began to thin. I missed the interchange, the discussion, the sharing, the learning. I even missed which as human beings we have. We have disagreements. We have agreements. But the Dharma is here to teach us. The Buddha's life is an example to show us how to live and how to navigate through that discomfort. I met during my retirement and during the height of the pandemic, I shared some thoughts with Isu. We met for lunch once you could do that at the lovely Vietnamese restaurant down on South Division. And she saw I needed to come back from out of retirement, and I understood I did, just for my own practice. Now, I'm being very selfish here. I am using you to help me. So, and I freely admit that. I do not practice here when I'm all alone. I practice probably here, because there's no one there to challenge me, no one there to question me, no one there to help me. So I thank you all. Now, we all would like to know if any of you have a thought to share. If you do, this old man is going to try to stand up. Look at that, I did it. And I'm going to hand you the mic, and the mic is not for us, but it's for YouTube. Anybody have a thought, a question, a comment? I'll be grabbing you pretty soon. Nobody?
Hello, Sangha. I would just like to say that it was so important to have those recordings available while we were sitting at home. So I really appreciate that you guys took the time and the effort to do that. That was just such a godsend, or a Buddha send. So thank you very much, and that's it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick. Many of you may not recognize me. This is actually the first Sunday service I've been to. I was fortunate to be able to come to the temple and to Buddhism to the recovery program, through the substance abuse recovery program. And the more that Buddhism resonated with me, and I found that it was just truth, and it made my soul feel good. The more I decided I wanted to become involved with the Sangha, and had problems with social anxiety for years, and Buddhism just really, really resonates with me on how to get over that. And getting involved with the Sangha, I feel will be very helpful. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you all.
Okay, I was going to say, if you didn't have any more volunteers, there are 4 ladies at the end that I know have something to say. I'm just putting it out there.
Did you want to?
Go ahead, yes. And
Hello, my name is Edward. Well, like most people, the pandemic has been trying. One thing, I work for Amazon, and one good thing about that is they keep you busy. I look back when I saw that the temple was going to be open, and I realized that this was my first Sunday off in about a year and a half. So I am thankful that our timelines crossed today. I've been fortunate enough to have an income to support my daughter and my grandson, and we have all made it through the pandemic. Well, I don't know if we've made it through yet, but we've made it through enough to take a deep breath. It's good to see all you people and to be together, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
thank you, Edward.
There's some women down. I am sorry. I apologize.
Things changed for us too. We also moved. And the holidays were a challenge because we were all alone, but we made it through that. And Peter had an injury, falling on the ice, bruised the ribs, but we made it through that too. And I simply don't know what we would have done without Zoom. It was a lifesaver for us. Every Sunday on the couch, seeing all the faces afterwards, once we could do the virtual tea, made a big, big difference for us. So I thank you all for putting this together.
My comment, I remember sitting in my living room on the chair, and it was the beginning of the pandemic, and I had a family member who was in the military who said to me, there will be close to 4 million deaths. And it was not even fathomable to me that would occur. And I remember sitting in my chair absolutely paralyzed. I couldn't move because the count was 80,000. And it never occurred to me that it would be that. So my struggle during the pandemic was with fear and loss of control and remaining mindful and all of those things that were challenged in our practice. So. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have assumed.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kate Ambo. When I think about the pandemic, we had 2 grandchildren that were living with us there. I think, how old are they? They're 15 and 14. And they had been with us for 4 years, and they moved. And that was very sad for me, and because I miss them, and I hope they're doing well, but I do miss them. I would like to thank all of the tech people that could figure out how to do this. And somehow I figured out how to watch it. I thought that was wonderful too. And to the clergy for being there with the Dharma talks, and for all the Sangha that was there, because I enjoyed seeing your names and listening to your comments. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, good morning, everyone. This is amazing. My name is Tricia Gosling. It's just a thrill to be here, honestly. Very teary-eyed about it for so many reasons. If my voice quavers a bit, that's why. There's so many things that have happened here that we can now come on. Let's get back to it, right? We're gonna be here, and we'll survive. For me, the pandemic was just a mixture, like everybody else. So the piggyback on everything everybody said. I believe it made us stronger. I will hold on to that. Yeah. I miss my son, who I hadn't seen for a while. And I just keep bringing up the images of the memories, the look on his face when he gave me a gift at Christmas time and kneeled on one knee and presented this gift that he was so proud of a couple years ago. So thriving on those memories and remember them is very, very helpful. Thank you so much for your very sweet introduction and honesty. That opened my heart just like that. Thank you.
I also want to, we have a couple of people down here, but I also want to discuss just briefly one of the gifts of this pandemic. It forced us to develop a technical team and acquire the equipment in order to do what we're doing right now. And Brian and Jake and Kent is in the control room, right? We actually have a control room. Yes, it's a control room. And he's in the control room. And we plan on continuing this because we were amazed at the outreach that we had far beyond this community. Okay, when we went back and looked at numbers and looked at places that people had been tuning in from on YouTube and on Zoom, it was astounding. So we will continue along this vein with the tech team. And I am, being a techno-ignorant person, I am deeply in their debt for their knowledge, their understanding, and how to put all this together. Michael Dewey was also instrumental in teaching what kind of equipment that we needed to get. And behind these four gentlemen, they tossed us a life preserver with this technology when we truly, truly needed it. And now we can continue with our outreach beyond our Sangha to basically the worldwide Sangha. So thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, well, like all of you, I have a story of my time during COVID, but what was so interesting for me was that I had started seeing a person, lovely woman, in December of 19. And of course, so, you get to know somebody quite well when suddenly you're isolated, but we were isolated together, fortunately. And then about 6 months into that relationship, she got the news that she had lung cancer. And this is an extremely healthy person who was helping me be healthy. And so last fall, we went through, she had half a lung removed. Then she went through a round of chemo, and she really, it was very depressing and struggled, but I never lost hope, and I never lost that joy. And I think that, and she's doing very well. She's back on the hiking trail maybe right now, but having this philosophy and this Sangha just gave me strength and support through the whole year. And you guys cobbling together however you did what you did and being able to join on Zoom was wonderful. I appreciate that so much. But, it was just a year of challenges. But again, having this practice and this group that gives me so much strength and support has been an amazing blessing. So thank you all very much.
Hi. So it's been a long time since I've been here. The last time I was here, I was actually known under an entirely different name. I relate to so much of what's been said today. I relate to Hung Soo in that my practice thinned, except it actually didn't thin, it collapsed. I went through a serious mental health crisis. And when the pandemic hit and I realized that there was a possibility that I might not make it through the year, I had the courage to come out as transgender after 27 years of hiding it. And I also met a wonderful person during the pandemic who I was also isolated with. And I'd like to introduce everyone to my soon-to-be husband, Kane. Good things can happen too, and I'm so glad to be back.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Hung Soo and I happen to know some good Buddhist clergy if you need somebody to marry you.
Actually, the first wedding I performed after the Supreme Court made its historic ruling was a two men.
Congratulations! I just want to join in the chorus of gratitude for all of the thoughtfulness and care for the Dharma Council and for the board and everybody that's had a hand in keeping all of this going, because this type of thing is where things tend to fall apart. So congratulations to all of us for surviving and weathering the storm, and just so much thoughtfulness and care, especially with the weekly Zoom sessions. Those were a lifeline to us too. And this year has been really a test in impermanence. You know, I think about where we were last year, and cities were on fire and people were angry, rightfully so, and people were locked inside. And now we realize that was then, and now we're in a different place. My dad had his entire large intestine and appendix removed, and I accompanied him through all of that. And some time ago, my parents had disowned me. We had not talked for a bit, and it's just amazing how things can change. Love is sort of a long game with no promise of tomorrow. How is that for a contradiction? So thank you for being a part of the long game. And here's a tip about these microphones, because I see people doing this. I'm gonna help y'all out. You want to hold it right here. Yep. It doesn't work if you hold it down here or out here. Right here. It doesn't have to be right up to your face, but don't do this, Thanks.
Thank you to our resident musician who is highly familiar with microphones. Yes, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi. So this is my first time here. I'm originally from California, and through my crazy pandemic journey, I ended up here. So I just was very, very grateful to find a Buddhist practice and a center and a Sangha. And I'm so happy to actually be here. And this whole last year and a half, my life has gotten, I don't know. I just keep picturing like a washing machine, like tumbling. Like that's what it feels like. And I think I keep thinking something that this has taught me is like it's really sitting with the collective experience. Like there's so much pain that each of us holds in our own journey and our own stories, and beauty too, and wonderful things. But like we all experience this together, And I think there's so much potential in that, and healing things that we never, maybe we didn't think would be repaired for a really long time. There's potential for that. And I don't know if any of that made sense, but I'm Shannon, and it's very nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you, Shannon. David.
Oh.
Like Patrick, recovery brought me to Buddhism. And it was Easter of 2011 when I came for my first service here. And I remember teachers saying, it's the Buddha nature within you that carries everything you need to know so you can start looking within instead of out there, which I had been trying to say for a whole career in ministry and never quite got it across, I think. But the recovery family, the Friday morning recovery family, I don't think missed a meeting through all of this. For a while it was on Zoom, and then we decided we really needed to be together. We met when the weather allowed at Garfield Park. When it didn't allow, we met in somebody's garage. When we were all vaccinated and could meet together inside, it was still too cold to go back to Garfield Park, so we met in a house. And a few weeks ago, we were able to come back here. And we never missed a Friday in all of this time. And we were sort of like a mini Sangha. And we were teachers for each other, supported and encouraged each other. And I think I can say on behalf of the Friday morning folk, it has been a marvelously positive experience. So we keep going.
Thank you. David has been chair of the Friday Morning Recovery Group since before Moses was born, I think. Okay, but he has been just the stalwart moving force behind that Friday morning group, and we're so grateful to have him not only as a group but as a Sangha member for many, many years now. So thank you.
Hi. So I perceived myself to be one of those rare people that was actually thriving through the pandemic. I had the security of a job where I could work remotely. I've always been the type of person to escape into a book and avoid crowds. And for me, actually, selfishly, the pandemic was a wonderful experience at first. I really felt that I was thriving. And I now know, as reintegrating into the world post-pandemic. And a month ago today, my mother died of cancer. And it was one of the first things we did once we were vaccinated, was to go down there and spend time. It's been just kind of an avalanche since then, realizing how much I've withdrawn from the social support of friends and communities like this that I used to rely on. And that the sense of thriving that I had was kind of a false one. It was more of just isolating away from everything that brought me anxiety. I think one of the things that's helped me over the past couple of years that I've missed has been the Thursday morning book clubs and just sitting down. And one of the things I appreciate about this Sangha is how real people are. It's not just a cheery face. We can talk about our suffering with each other and be real. And I'm looking forward. I'm sorry for withdrawing from that support and not giving all that support to this community during that time. But I'm looking forward to reintegrating and having those experiences and healing again with all of you.
Anyone else?
Announcements?
Are there any announcements that we need to know about?
You have to do this.
I got out of the habit of that.
I'm Jan Ensing. I'm the board president, just for your reference. But welcome back. It's so good to see all your smiling faces. Many of them I remember seeing on Zoom, so thank you for your commitment. You are the temple and the Sangha, and this temple is strong because of your commitment to it and vibrant because of your involvement with it. We look forward to engaging every member as we practice and grow. So I just want to encourage you to participate by attending whenever you're able to, volunteering, which we will begin doing more of now that we're meeting again together, and then also donating. And ways that you can see the connections is by subscribing to the newsletter. If you go to the website, there's a button that you can select to subscribe and then also donate. So thank you again, and thank you for keeping us going in this last year, for showing up and encouraging us, and for telling us that you really valued and needed that presence on Zoom. And I apologize to the Dharma Council for my resistance through the last year. That has been my practice as well, but also for the growth and the commitment that you have to the Sangha. So my deep bow.
A little announcement about the Dharma discussion group that meets Thursday mornings. We have decided to leave Riverside Park and go to Wilcox Park in Easton. That's the only difference there. Announcements.
Thank you. I'm speaking on behalf, excuse me, of the newly formed Fundraising Committee. There are 5 of us. Do you mind raising your hands? Yes, yes, yes. We're talking about fundraising for the remainder of the year, and one of the events will be a silent auction in December. So I'm challenging each one of you, if you could think of an artisan or somebody who would like to donate something, we want to start now. So it's going to be a big event. Really excited. Yes.
I have a question. I've got a big mouth.
Please.
I have a bunch of books I'm trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
I was going to have a sidewalk sale next couple of weeks. Will you take books there to sell?
I believe we will. Yes.
I can save those and give them to you.
Yes.
I won't do them tomorrow, but
Yeah.
closer.
But if you have somebody, for example, I'll just share with you, downstairs in our boutique, Kate and I rearranged the boutique. We were really proud of it. I hope you like the new design and some of the things we have in there. And we want to highlight artisans from our community. For example, you'll see some pictures on the top. They're frame pictures and then glass pictures. They're from my friend Yolanda, who every year does international trips, and they are all her pictures. So again, kind of us bringing personal things into the boutique and personal things that we can use for the silent auction. We did talk in our fundraising committee about ways to donate. And certainly we have the Dana boxes at each end. You can send in a check. Brian, would you just talk about, just briefly about, is it Smile? Could you just say that's one way to donate through Amazon?
We want everybody in the world to hear this.
The correct website to get started, type in the web address bar, smile.amazon.com. And from there, if it's the first time you've done it, it will ask you for what organization you would like to support through that program, and just put in Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple. I think that's all you have to do.
Repeat the address.
Smile, SMILE .Amazon, AMAZON.com, COM.
Would you talk
You can find information on our website, zengr.org, under the donate page. You can send in one-time donations through PayPal. You can also, if you come more often and want to support us regularly, you can set up a monthly recurring payment, and you can choose the amount that you would like to do. And then, while I've got the mic, I'd like to thank everyone who did support us through the pandemic too. It really helped us make sure that we would be able to do this today. So thank you.
I'd like to add just a thought. For anyone who's not familiar with smile.amazon.com, that actually costs you nothing. What happens if you get involved in that, any purchases that you make online through Amazon, and I'm not sure if there's other vendors as well, but at least Amazon, it will automatically donate, I believe it's 0.5% of your purchase. It'll donate that automatically to a temple, and it just happens in the background. It doesn't cost you anything. So.
You only have to do that one time. And then every time you go to your page,
You need to move our, you need to actually.
no, go ahead.
When you do your Amazon.
Actually, so the address that Brian said, just bookmark that link. And then if you go to that link and then start shopping from there, it does it automatically. But if you just go to Amazon.com, you have to remember to click the Amazon smile thing. So they make it not super easy, but the super easy way to do it is just make that your bookmark.
Okay.
And then you'll never forget.
I just wanted to make sure I knew that.
Yep.
Any other announcements?
Hello, everyone. We are still offering recovery meetings 3 times a week. Monday night, 6:30 meditation at the temple, as long as you've been fully vaccinated. We're also offering Zoom starting at 7 o'clock if you can't join in person. Wednesday, we're still at the North Club on College Street at 6:30 meditation. And then the morning meditation and Friday morning is 10:30? 10 o'clock. Thank you. Meeting is at 10:30. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have done our meditation.
Yes, we have.
Verbally.
And now we will do our closing gathas. If you would all stand.
And together we say, for all ye understand for action.
Ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginning was greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts. Now I atone for them all. All past as a robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddhist teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great Buddha, I vow to attain.
Thank you all for being here.
Go forth and smile.